Hey, what's up everybody, it's Brad at Ghost Gaming, and we are doing the 250 4-stroke setup. I'm using a KX bike. It's my bike that I built. Now, noticed on these 250s is the same setup. Seems to work just like it did in 2020. You can use the same setup on all of the 250 4-stroke bikes, and they seem to perform the same. I have tested this through this Kawasaki, the Yamaha YZ250F, and the Honda 250F, and they all seem to perform the same way. Again, we're using clam ham for the track. So we will get loaded up in here. And the reason why I use this track is it's got some smaller jumps, some bigger jumps, it's got hills, off-cambered corners, I don't know if you want to call them inside ruts or small inside. But that's why I use this track. It's also kind of rough in some areas. So for me, it works well for testing for bike setups. So just like if you watch the 252 stroke video, again, it's just mild change. If you start making drastic changes to these setups, it just doesn't work right. It doesn't work well. I shouldn't say it doesn't work right, but it just doesn't work well. The bike it feels like the bike becomes unstable. Your lap times drop a lot. And it could be because I just haven't found that perfect combination for a drastic change. But these minor changes that I've made, I've noticed it's picked my lap times up significantly. And what I mean by that is, you know, when I was making drastic changes to the suspension like I was doing in MXGP 2020, my lap times were on this track 128, 129. I think I got it down to like maybe a 127. And then when I went to these minor changes, it dropped my lap time into the low 120s. So front fork and rear spring, I went +1. You could even do like a 7 on the rear if you wanted to on the 4-stroke. Again, it just kind of depends on your riding style. I noticed that when I did go a number 7 on the rear spring, I feel like I lost some handling. But again, the setup is tailored to my riding style and how I race. Preload, front and rear, same thing, +1. Front, low compression, low extension, -1. I left it in the middle. For you faster guys, you could probably go +1 here to help you out. But I don't know, I'm not super good at these games. So I leave it how I have it. Same thing, I mirror the front and rear. The reason why I do that is stability, and especially in rough corners and high-speed braking bumps, keeps the bike stable. Also for cornering purposes. So this is my 250 setup. Again, for some of you faster riders, you could do a +1 or +2 here if you wanted to. Again, it's going to depend on your riding style, how aggressive you are in and out of corners, and you could even drop your low speed here if you want to, this if you wanted to, and that would also help you out as well in corners if you're really aggressive in corners. Gear ratio, again, I like to use the short gear ratio, especially on the 250s. Now the 250s in this game are better than in 2020. They have, feels like they have quite a bit more power, but I use the short gear ratio specifically on the 250 for that extra acceleration to help get over some jumps. You could play with your gearing on certain tracks. I could see where maybe setting your gears up like this, that could be beneficial on some tracks. But again, the way I do my setups is I want to be able to use one setup across the board on all tracks. So this setup, yes, it does work better on some tracks than it does, but I like the consistency of it. I know how it's going to perform, basically. Brake response, again, especially if I'm trying to play catch up or I'm in a battle, I'm really aggressive on the brakes. I like to brake late and dive into corners. That's where this helps me. Acceleration mapping, again, I like the aggressive mapping, especially on the lower, on these 250s, because they got less power than the 450s. So that just helps get a little more acceleration out of the bike, changes the power curve slightly. Wheelbase, I like the long. The bike becomes more stable, especially in high-speed situations through braking bumps, getting in, you know, if you're entering the corners and at high speed and you're on the brakes or you're downshifting using engine braking. It just helps keep the bikes more stable entering the corner, and also helps you on the exit of the corner if you're getting on the gas really hard. So we'll do a couple laps with this setup so you can kind of see. Again, on this bike, I think I don't know, I was running like a 122 or something like that was what I got my lap time down to with this setup when I was, like I said earlier, when I was making big drastic changes. You know, my lap times were in the 20s. Now I got it down to the low 20s, and I imagine, you know, as I get better at the game and faster at it, get used to, you know, some of the changes that they made in the physics and cornering and stuff like that, you know, I may have to make some suspension changes. But so far right now, this suspension change that I have right now, or that I'm using, the setup, is working really well. for how I'm currently riding. But yeah, I mean, you can push this. I've been able to push this setup pretty hard on this track, and I've been able to maintain traction and put in, you know, some pretty decent lap times. I'll be putting the 454 stroke setup out soon. I'm still working on that one. I don't have it quite dialed in the way I want it yet. So as soon as I dial in, I'll be posting that one for you guys so keep an eye out for it. But this lap here. That'll be the end of it. Also, this setup works well. So when you do get a rain race or even a wet track, you can use this setup and it'll work well for you too. But I mean, as you guys can see, the bike stays pretty well planted. Corners pretty well. You know, so far I really like the setup. I like I said, as I get better at the game, I get used to it, get used to the physics, get more used to the tracks and finding better lines. You know, I may need to tweak the setup, but, you know, for right now, this is I feel, a really good starting point for us. And again, it's tailored to my riding style. You know, your riding style may be different, and the setup may not quite work as well, but it's a good starting point. So give it a try. Let me know in the comments how you like it, if you like it or don't like it. Stay tuned for the 450 setup. I'm still working on it, but I will get it out maybe today or tomorrow, and we'll get that posted for you too. Again, if you like the content, we're still trying to get to that 300 subscribers. We're 5 away, so if you're not subbed to the channel, smash that like and subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. We do just about everything we do is a live stream. So, you know, that way you get, you come in and hang out in the live stream with us, and, you know, even if you're on PlayStation, you know, send me a friend request and we can, throw some races together. You know, we'll be doing, some stuff in this game and, some other GP games in the future, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Again, everybody, if you like the content, help us out, hit that like, subscribe button, and stay tuned for the 450 setup. Have a good one. Until the next video, see you next time. Bye-bye.